My name is Castro. I'm a Los Angeles native, and I'm a street photographer. I always imagine these people being shadows of my past somehow, people that are going through the same struggles that I've been through, or scenarios that I've been involved in. So every single individual that's out there, when I'm shooting these people, it's more of an emotional connection. It's more of a feeling that it's a very similar feeling that I've felt before. And so that's what leads me to the people. It's just the struggle that's happening in front of me and the struggle that I've lived with. It's just, they just kind of go hand in hand, honestly. Every single image that I try to put out, they're really scenes from my own movie that I haven't ever shown anybody, but these images, I try to capture that in these images. Not everybody I speak to is homeless. I mean, some are, addicts, some are prostitutes, some are, people that are working, that are struggling as well. Some are on Section 8, some are fortunate people. It just depends on the character that I look for. When I'm on the street, I'm thinking about new ways and new framing and compositions. I'm always constantly trying to evolve my craft, honestly. I mean, whether it's music or allowing myself to, drift and daydream, and I'm always thinking about new ideas. One of the stories that really captivated me was the story of a gentleman that was incarcerated and how he lost his wife while she was on her way to see him. And, he didn't know what to think, he didn't know what had happened. But, somehow for me, it helped me appreciate the people around me a lot more, because you really never know. You always want to make sure that you keep sanity, and you always keep some sort of a positive energy to you, no matter what situation you're in, and so that's definitely helped me. I mean, in my everyday life, I'm constantly trying to be a better person, trying to be happy. I feel love and I give love away, and that really does show in my work, and a lot of people do, connect with these images just because of that reason. So, yeah. The photo behind me that I made about 3 years ago, I believe. It's a man wearing a mask. I loved the tense look in his eyes, and how he's, the mask is sort of concealing his identity, but in a sense, that's what we all do. We all conceal our identity. We try to hide what's, the real person that's underneath your skin. And I feel like, for me at least, it shouldn't be that way. I think you should be exposed, and you should be an open book, and kind of not care about what people have to say about you. Just be you, be free, do what you love, and the world will feel it. So the way I got into photography really started when I was a kid. I was into graffiti. I looked up to my cousin. He was in a graffiti crew. My buddies and I would go out late nights and do these crazy missions, and catch freights, and go on these freeways and just go all wild. But at that time it was fun. It didn't seem as a back then graffiti wasn't some sort of an art that was accepted in a community, or was accepted as fine art. And then fast forward, when I was 18, I remember still doing graffiti. I was arrested for doing graffiti, and I was locked up. And I remember the feeling of being in there with these guys that were gonna face life. And I was just like, this wasn't me, So as soon as I got out, I ended up moving away. I moved to Iowa. And I remember working at this construction site. And I was doing this construction job in the wintertime, and I remember jackhammering some cement block, and some woman and a guy in a suit had walked by on her site, and they looked down at me and they're like, "Oh, do you know what you're doing right here?" I'm like, "No, I have no idea." And so she's like, "Well, this is gonna be my station. It's gonna be a photo lab." And I was just like, "Oh, cool," because we're building a super Walmart, and she's like, "You should apply. You seem like a good kid. You should apply." And I'm like, "Okay." So I just applied. 9 months later I applied, and 9 months later I started. And I was doing, processing film at this photo lab. And I remember this old dude used to come in all the time, and he would drop off his film, and I develop it, and I see how cool these black and whites were. And I used to always, point out little things about this photograph. And after a few months, he said to me, I think you'd be a great photographer. You have a good eye. You should buy a camera. And I didn't know anything about a camera, so I bought my first film camera, and I never looked back from there. You can catch me on Instagram or my website. That's Meet Frankie C. I have a lot more shows coming up. We're hopefully hitting New York, Miami, hopefully London. Definitely in the works of doing a book. That's going to be hopefully soon. But I'm being patient with it and taking one day at a time. But I hope you guys definitely enjoy my work. I appreciate everyone's support. Thank you all for the love. You guys have been a tremendous support system, and I see you guys and I appreciate it. And if you're ever curious about something, feel free to reach out, and I'll do my best to answer your question or help you with whatever you're going through. So much love, y'all.